There was no name attached or anything, no date, no anything. But one of the Golf Digest raters had played talking stick, and of course that hole. And his comment, you know, in his rating things, the single worst golf hole I've ever played in my life. So Ben and I were talking about, we're not surprised. We knew it would probably be one of the most misunderstood holes we would ever create. I have said, and I'm not sure this is the greatest thing, I've been accused of being the world's worst salesperson, so it probably fits. But if you had to rate the site for golf, for interest for golf at Talking Stick, the site that became the 2 golf courses there, it would have been a stretch to call it a 0.5. It's so flat. Talking Stick is so flat that I literally, I'm not exaggerating this, I put a Coca-Cola can at one end of the 400 acres, went to the other end of the 400 acres, and with binoculars could see the can. That's pretty darn flat. It was just a blank map. There was no topo lines on it. There was no line on it. It was just white, it had a boundary. It was just all purely theoretical. And I remember asking Ben, I said, Ben, if there's any flat hole you've ever thought about, maybe we should create, send me some sketches, send something, man. We got to come up with 36 holes out here. It used to be that boundaries, be they roads or fences or whatever, were thought to be an interesting aspect to the strategy of a hole. And so, Lord knows, we walk out there, the barbed wire fence is still there on the second hole. It was there when we got there. The wild horses would be just across the fence. We've all seen diagrams of holes that were laid out, or seen holes that just went down the border. It's out of bounds. I just remember walking out there and going, there's no road, can't hit a car, no houses, can't hit a house. You know, it's all open, Pima Maricopa tribal community land. So if you hit a ball over there, you're not gonna hurt anybody or anything, you're just out of bounds. So why not use the boundary? We got all this flat land. At the time, it went all the way over as far as you could see the other way. Why don't we build just a great big wide fairway out here and just play straight down the border? Put the green right on the out of bounds and say, sooner or later, you're gonna deal with me. You may avoid me with the first shot. You may play way over here. You got miles of room. But then you're gonna have to deal with me with the second shot because you're gonna have to hit right at me, or you keep going down to the right and avoid me there. Now I'm right left of the green. Now what are you gonna do? I got a couple of bunkers over here. You're gonna deal with the out of bounds sooner or later on that hole. If you're brave enough and skilled enough to do it on the first shot, it makes it far more interesting. Ben, I just remember we would walk down there and we would both just talk about, this hole is so simple. It is going to be totally misunderstood. Totally. Because it just looked like you ran out of ideas, man. You gave up here. And I found it fascinating years later. Jeff Ogilvy, he was such a wonderful player, but also very much into golf architecture. One of the guys told me, he said it was one of the most fascinating holes he had played.